please join me in welcoming Dr. Gregory Hutchings.
Thank you, Annette. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge all of our board members, just to thank them for this opportunity. Our President, Annette Sutherland, our Vice President, Bill Glosson. I don't see, is Norman Bliss here? I see Ruben Harris in the back. And then we also have Amy. Thank you, Norman. And then Amy Fulford. Where's Amy? If we can just give them a round of applause for this opportunity. Another thing I want to thank, you said I had lunch with the administrators today, but I actually got interviewed by the administrators today. I had 3 bites to eat, and the rest of the time was talking to them about just school building issues and leadership styles. So I hope that, I thought that things went well. I hope they think the same. Well, I know that you are wondering, what am I doing here? This guy from Alexandria, Virginia, here in Shaker Heights. And I want to first start out by saying that Ohio is not a new place for me. I'm fortunate to have my aunt here, Kathy Marlon Primes. They're Cleveland Heights residents, as well as my cousin, where is she? Stand up, Kayla. Kayla Primes, who's also my little cousin. But my mother, she grew up in Dayton, Ohio, so it's about 3 or 4 hours from here. And I spent every summer at my grandmother's house on 3801 Palmerston Avenue in Dayton, Ohio. So I was from the DC area, but I came here every summer in the state of Ohio. So I do understand the culture here in the Midwest. It's a little different than it is on the East Coast. And I know that you all know that. So I wanted to start just by saying, why Shaker for me? About a month ago, my wife and I, we came to visit the Shaker Heights area because my wife told me, before you apply for anything in Shaker Heights, I need to make sure this is a place where, 1, we can raise our family, and 2, I like. So let's go up and visit. And we drove up. It's about a 6-hour drive from our house in Alexandria. And we drove up. We drove through the Fernway community. We went to the Shaker Square. We went to the Nature Center. We went to the Beechwood Mall. I don't know if it's called the Beechwood Mall, but it was a mall in Beechwood, which was really nice, by the way. And as we drove through the neighborhood, she said, this place is like Pleasantville. And she didn't mean it in a facetious or a condescending way. She was just saying it just seemed so perfect. And it was a perfect place for us to raise our family. And I totally agreed. And once she said that, I knew, okay, let me apply for this job. And now I'm here. So the number one thing is that the Shaker community, the common trends that I've seen, or threads that I've seen throughout all of my visits, meeting with the stakeholders advisory committee this morning, who really grilled me for an hour, and visiting those schools. I think I went to Boulevard, Shaker Middle School, as well as Shaker High School. The common thread that I saw is that you all are definitely passionate about education, and you care about your students, and you're advocating for your students to be successful. And I too share, that same philosophy. My wife and I, we have 2 kids. So it is important for wherever I choose to go to be a superintendent that our children are able to go to those schools. And one thing I can say that if given this opportunity, they will be at Shaker schools, and we will be committed to this community, not only as a superintendent, but also as community residents. So I'm looking forward to that possible opportunity. Another thing that I wanted to just stress today, because I want to get to your questions, I don't want to talk too much about myself. You were able to read the applications, and I'm sure everybody Googled me here like I Googled most of you, all those principals and school board members. But there's one thing that I think is very important for you all to know, is that Alexandria City Public Schools is very similar to Shaker. They have the same passion, the same commitment. It is a little larger. It's about 13,300 students in Alexandria. We have 19 schools versus 8 schools that you all have here in Shaker. But the passion and the advocacy for education is very similar. I drive through some of the neighborhoods here, and it's very familiar. It looks very familiar to me because it feels like home with some of the buildings. Now, you have to keep in mind, in Alexandria, some of our homes were built in the 1700s because we're a little older than Shaker. But the feel of the community is really warm and welcoming, and we have some phenomenal schools and a phenomenal board that's willing to do whatever it takes to make sure our students achieve.